So when you are born into these times, into times when history can literally move two ways at once, you have to recognize that on your deathbed, you won't just be thinking about your children and how wonderful they are and what promise you have. And you will also be wondering whether you did anything to increase the likelihood that their children and their children's children will be able to flourish in the way that you made it possible for yours to flourish. And well, if you don't know what you have, what you really have, you probably will lose it. And if you don't know what you're trying to achieve, well, you probably won't achieve it. And I decided if I did nothing else that day, I would figure out what I was fighting for. So I made a long list of all the things that really upset me about our country, about my community, about the city I was living in, and as something more disturbing, more urgent to be changed went onto the list, I would cross something else off. And I looked, and there were 6 things, and I couldn't figure out which one of them was more important. So I said to myself, what my grandfather often said to me is, don't let the perfect get in the way of the good. I just closed my eyes, and I drew a circle. And I said, whatever's most in this circle, that will be what I will focus on. That'll be my fight. And I opened up my eyes, and the thing most in the circle was end discrimination in the justice system. I had no idea how to do that. I was like 19 years old. I realized it worked in the negative. At least there were all these other things I didn't have to focus on. I could give up, being a doctor. I could focus on other things. And what happens, right, is you take that commitment, that thing you're going to change in the world before you die, and you put it somewhere where you can look at it, and I put it on my top of my dresser with a paperweight on it, and I'd go back to it, and a little light starts to light inside of you. And eventually that light might be so big that it attracts other people to you. But at first that light just shows enough for you to see the first step and the next step. And a year like that, and I found myself in Jackson, Mississippi. We decided we were going to have the biggest student protest that Mississippi had seen in decades. In order to do that, we had 15,000 students at the state capitol and their supporters. And on top of that, we decided that in the very modern year of 1994, it would be outrageous for this to be an all-black march in Mississippi. That turning a college into a prison was so fundamentally un-American that we needed to have enough whites that you could at least see them in the photographs, which was roughly 5%. And so we were looking for 750 white liberals on short notice in Mississippi. And over in the corner was this guy, kind of a mad genius that we lovingly referred to as Rain Man. Because he thought in a way different than all of us, and yet we had a sense of probably smarter than any of us. And he's going through this calendar, and then he says, Ben, and I said, yeah. He said, Earth Day's coming up. And the whole room got quiet. You see, in the context of the Deep South, Earth Day is like Groundhog Day for white liberals. And at 7 o'clock, the team hadn't called in. And at midnight, I sent the last person home, and I said, look, I will just wait here. If they don't call in by sunup, we'll go into a different phase of search. And at 1 o'clock, my phone rang. And I said, hello? And there was a bit of trepidation because we had been getting death threats at the office. It's one of the reasons we stopped sleeping there. And I was there by myself, and it was 1 a.m. But this time it wasn't the Klan calling to threaten us again. It was my lead organizer from Starksville. And I said, where are you? He said, Ben, I'm at the Waffle House at I-55 and High Street. I need you to get down here right away. We had some problems up at State. We got to talk. Well, you can see from my size, I can get to Waffle House in any city in America in 5 minutes flat. And I say, boys, what's up? What happened? So we did like we were asked. We said we would get up and speak. And so we went out there and we said, we need your help to save the black colleges. And well, some group in the crowd started roaring back, get a rope, get a rope, get a rope. And so, we had that crazy kind of two-step bend where you walk just as fast as you can to get to your car as fast as you can without your knees buckling so they don't chase you. The guys are talking about quitting. We don't know what to do. We're tired of the death. We don't know what to do. And there was an old white man staring at us and not smiling. And his shirt hung 9 inches below his waistband. And that's important because Mississippi, for $100 and no felonies back then, you could get a concealed weapons permit and carry your gun wherever you wanted to. And he keeps staring at us and not smiling. And he says, Are you the boys I've been seeing on television? Now, we call each other boys. None of us were accustomed to letting any old white man call us boy in Mississippi. And we look around, the only black folks in the restaurant, we've been getting death threats for weeks. They just got death threats to their face. We give the only logical response. Yes, sir? He says, hold on a second. I thought so. Turns around to put down his to-go bag. And he said, well, I just want to shake your hand. If I've been born an N-word in this crazy state, man, I'd be mad as heck too. I'm so proud of you boys. Now, he's called us boys twice. He's called us N-word once. And our heart's getting warmer. We feel like for a second he's just walked mentally a mile in our shoes and understands what we're up against. He says, if you need anything, if you need money, if you need somebody at that crazy march you're planning, well, you just come see me. I own the used car lot right down 49. But the most important thing we figured out from our interchange with that very verbally challenged ally at that Waffle House was that you've got to give everybody the chance to be your ally. And that college, Mississippi Valley State University, is open to this day.